we've been talking a lot on this show about masks. We've been talking a lot on this show about going back to school. And one Georgia student has been suspended after posting a photo in a crowded hall. Let me give you the story here because I find this to be troubling. Her name is Hannah Waters. Hopefully no relation to Jesse Waters, by the way, that weasel on Fox News. Anyway, she's a sophomore at North Paulding High School in Dallas, Georgia. She posted a photo on Twitter showing students walking down a crowded hallway. Some students, to their credit, were wearing masks, but most of them were not. The 15-year-old said she posted the photo because she was concerned. I don't blame her. I would be too. She said, I took the photo initially after seeing the first day of school photo taken by someone else go online as well and got picked up by some in the media coverage. I want you to have a listen to this. So this is the Georgia teen, Hannah Waters, that I was just talking about, who got suspended. She did an interview on CNN. Here's her talking right now.
I was concerned for the safety of everyone in that building and everyone in the county because precautions that the CDC and guidelines that the CDC has been telling us for months now weren't being followed.
Yeah, so there you go. I don't blame her for saying that, by the way. So she did admit one thing, and I'll give her credit for this. You're not allowed, at least according to the school, and I think most schools probably have this same policy, you're not allowed to take pictures within the school system and post that on social media. So she is admitting that she made that mistake. Here's her thoughts on that.
I'd like to say that this is some good and necessary trouble, so I don't regret this because it needed to be said.
All right, so here's my thoughts on this. I believe, and this is my personal opinion, that if this girl took a picture of a bunch of people practicing social distancing in the school wearing masks and she said something positive, she would not be suspended. Make no mistake about it. The reason why the school suspended her is because it made the school look bad. There are plenty of people that take pictures in the classroom, even though it might not be allowed, that are not suspended for doing so. But they're suspending this girl because people are not practicing social distancing. I got to tell you something, folks. I personally believe that this is going on in our school systems throughout the country. I don't believe every single 14-year-old is putting on a mask. I believe there are many kids out there that are probably not taking this seriously, like many of the dope parents out there are not taking this seriously and not wearing masks. To me, it's the same thing. To me, it's the exact same thing. So this girl is shedding this light. I tell you something. I hope more students do this. And I know what you're going to say. Well, Brian, you're telling them to break rules. Well, you know what? I'm okay with breaking rules if it saves lives. I'm okay with breaking rules if it shows the awareness and the fact that many of these schools, it is almost, and by the way, to their credit or to back a lot of these schools, it's almost impossible to police every single one of these students and tell them to wear a mask. Just like it is in casinos. It's almost impossible. Sure, you can try. You could tell people to put their mask on, but customers are not always going to comply, just like a bunch of 14-year-olds and 12-year-olds and 16-year-olds are not always going to comply. That is why this is dangerous. Listen, in a perfect world, if everybody was wearing masks and practicing social distancing, I'd say, go ahead. Let the kids go back to school. I think everything will be all right. But it's just not the case, ladies and gentlemen, and that's the point I try to make on this show all the time. And I am glad that this student brought this to light. I am glad that CNN interviewed her, and I am glad that she posted that picture on social media, because I'll tell you something. If people are not practicing social media or not practicing social distancing in these schools, the parents should know about it. Certainly the school didn't know about it until she posted it online, and their concern was giving her a suspension. Well, I didn't hear anything from the school about how they're going to change their policies or enforce them better. Didn't hear anything about that, but what I did hear about, well, we're going to give her a week suspension for exposing the school, for lack of a better term, no pun intended there, for kids not wearing masks.